Well, good morning. I am so
Good
happy.
morning, Mary.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see you.
You too.
We have known each other for many, many years.
Many, many years. And
Yeah.
we've been meeting up at conferences and always with the focus on young learners.
That's right. And so today I am very happy to introduce Kathy Kampa. Actually, I'm Vin. Yes. Anyway, I will let you introduce yourself. Thank you for joining us here today. And so please go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm so honored to be part of the JALT conference this year. As you know, I've moved back to the States, but JALT has always been a soft spot in my heart. And I've always enjoyed being back with teachers who are really making a difference in the world. I think we teachers in Japan have really moved forward with young learner education. And so I'm really proud to be part of that and bringing some new ideas to the table. As many of you know, my focus has really been with young learners. I've taught children from 6 months of age all the way up through elementary school and even through high school. But my love is the really little ones. So currently I've been working on, especially looking into inquiry-based learning, how we can nurture inquiry-based learning in our classrooms with young learners. How do they develop questions? Not just taking in information, but being able to ask questions about what they're learning and being able to think critically about information, especially in today's new environment where we're not sure, is it the truth or not? So being able to ask questions and being able to think critically. So how do we solve problems? And so looking at that. So that's one of the things I'm really working on is learning more about inquiry-based learning. I'm also interested in how students collaborate with each other. And so I think when we look at how am I a collaborative learner, what are the skills that we need students to be able to listen well and to be able to respond in those kind of situations. And then the third thing I'm really interested in is cultural education. Because I think sometimes we're not always really open-minded. And so how do we expose students to new cultures and things when they're young learners? And so being able to listen to, what are the sounds of other languages and what do people do in other countries? What do people eat for breakfast? So exposing young learners to different cultures. And I think that's a big part of being an English language learner is English is spoken in many places around the world.
And these same points, of course, will carry over into the junior high, high school, and university age students too.
Exactly. So I think if we plant those seeds at a young age, I think that inspires them as they continue to learn English and continue into their upper levels of education.
That's right. That's right. So I have one question. What key message do you plan to convey during your presentation at JALT 2023?
Well, the focus, of course, is on growth mindset. And I believe that growth mindset is such an important thing that we can bring to young learners. So if we can plant those seeds of growth mindset with our very little ones, then as they continue to grow, they can bring that to their learning. And so looking at what do I know as a learner? What are my skills and what are the things that I need to work on? How can I move ahead by myself in my own learning? So what are the things that I'm really curious about? And can I find some of that information myself? So I think for us as young learner teachers, those students come with limited language. So how do we nurture that in the very little ones? How do we build that spirit of, I can do it myself and the sense of confidence? I think for me, as an English teacher of young learners, it's not the focus on grades, it's the focus on what do we want to learn? And so, it's so exciting. There's so much that we can teach our little ones. And so we really want to create that kind of positive atmosphere, finding ways to develop confidence in very young learners. So is it one key message? Well, it's really all about growth mindset. How do we nurture that with our students? But there are all those little subtleties that we can use, that we can develop in children.
Oh, I
So I
totally
think that
agree.
can spill into, with junior high and high school. I think those of us who teach young learners know that we have some advantages. We have a different way of teaching. And so it's quite fun and magical.
Oh, I totally agree. And what I found is, even at the university level, those students who did start learning English as very young learners, they approach their university classes totally different. And so it's such an important thing. Yeah. So one more question. How do you envision your presentation will benefit everyone at the conference?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think those of us who teach young learners, we have a unique approach to teaching. And so I hope that can inspire teachers of junior high and high school. I think that we are maybe a little more playful in our teaching. Yeah. We use a lot of hands-on materials, and so that's what I'll be using. Even though this is going to be a plenary presentation, there will be some hands-on materials, things that are visual and playful and fun. And so that's what I want to bring to the table, is some ideas that I think are interesting for teachers of young learners especially, but also that maybe that plants the seeds for teachers of older students. I have to say that I really enjoy teaching junior high school students who came from Okinawa here to the States. They needed to get up and move, and they love playing games and working together with other students. And so I hope that that's what I can bring to the table. And I hope that's inspiring to other teachers. It will be extremely practical for teachers of young learners, but I think that the way that we teach, these conversations that we have with what education can be, could inspire teachers of older learners.
I totally agree. And teachers of older learners, meaning often university students, need to bring some playfulness to their classes.
Right.
Education is not about testing, and grades.
Yes, and I think as adults, when we're not in school, I think we need to realize, well, what is it that I know and what is it that I don't know? And how can I improve in what I'm doing right now? So for example, I'm learning French right now, and I know that there are certain things that I really struggle with and certain things that I'm really good at. And so I need to know how I go back over it. How do I learn best? Like if I stand up, that helps me learn better. And so I think students need to realize that we have big groups of children at times. How do they learn best? And helping students be aware of that from very young ages can help them as they grow up.
I totally agree. Okay, and Kathy, one more thing I would like to find out is, what projects are you involved in now?
Well, my husband, Chuck Valina, and I have both been working on a new course called Beehive. And that course has a very strong grammar syllabus, but there are also lots of things like team up tasks, where students are learning how to work well together. And in every lesson, they have these we have created team up tasks. Plus, there are great cultural lessons. And that was one of my favorites. Even when we were learning about something, I would do some research and try out something from that. And so the first book that's coming out is called Beehive. And then we have reconstructed it so that there's a little bit slower paced book called Buzz. And so that may be the book that will be coming to Japan, that fits the number of hours that Japanese children can learn English. And then another exciting thing is I've been asked to be part of the expert advisory committee. So I'll be working with Sarah Mercer and a few other teachers on that to talk about issues that we have in English language education globally around the world. And then last of all, I've been asked to be part of a content-based education research paper. And so that's something that is, with my experience as a PYP teacher at Seisen International School, that was something that was part of the way that we taught curriculum to our students. So looking at bigger ideas for our students and looking at their learner profile and how can we help students become open-minded and reflective and creative and confident students. So it's been quite busy, even though I think people have thought that we have been retired here. We have not at all. We've been quite busy, writing. And these days, writing is a huge endeavor. And so we've been working hard to do that.
Wow, that sounds so exciting. Yes, yes.
And I do have to say,
and
I do have to say, in addition to that, I have a dear mentor friend of mine, and he had said to me, Kathy, I know that you cannot just sit and write. And so he said, I think you need to teach children. And so I've got my groups of children who I'm teaching face-to-face here, as well as students that I'm teaching online yet in Japan, because I think that that feeds my energy and my creativity. And so I know where I need to get my good energy for writing. And so being out with kids, and then actually my public library has been an incredible resource for the work that we've been doing. So.
Okay, so again, one more question I have for you is, in your workshop, what are you planning to do?
Well, I want to showcase the ways that we can use growth mindset through fun activities, like what songs can we use, and how do you use a song and show, have students understand that growth mindset. So I understand this, I don't understand this, or movement activities and building that sense of potential. So we were talking about a story that I've been working on for my students in Tokyo, and they loved it. It's called The Amazing Potatoes. And in that story, we talk about their hidden potential, how they're hiding under the ground, and then off they are, and they're ready to jump and hop and gallop and move around the room. So I think there are a lot of things that we do as young learner teachers that are fun and magical, and maybe we'll use scarves and other hands-on materials to build language skills, to build confidence, to build creativity, collaboration, critical thinking skills, but to nurture that sense of who I am as a learner and what I need to do for my next steps.
Oh, that sounds exciting, especially for somebody like me from Hokkaido. Something about potatoes.
Yes. Oh, yes. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yes, I will. Okay, thank you very much for agreeing to meet me today. And November is just around the corner. See you soon.
I can't wait.
Yes. Well, I think this may be enough to entice some people to come on to the conference. I am really so excited that you agreed to come all the way from the US to visit us. And
I am so excited to be back in Japan. Due to COVID, I wasn't able to go back to visit any friends and to be part of a place that's really my second home. And so I love Japan so much, and the food, the culture. I think for those of us who are adventurers, we love going to new places, but we also love going home. And I'm so excited to be back in Japan and be brush up on my Japanese again too.
Okay, well, thank you very much for finding the time this morning to talk with me. And so I will see you soon. And November is just around the corner. So exciting. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay.